On a storm-laden night, the serenity of a revered martial arts school is shattered. Yang, once a devoted disciple, returns with a cadre of formidable fighters: Fajar, the silent botanist; Shan, the fiery combatant; Kuroki, the enigmatic artist; and Jinfeng, the calculating strategist. Their objective is clear: to seize the mystical talisman safeguarded by their former master. The assault is swift and brutal. Students, unprepared for such betrayal, fall one by one. Yang confronts his old master, a man who once considered him family. Their exchange is terse, laden with unspoken history. Yang's final blow is not just physical but symbolic, severing ties and ideals. Amidst the chaos, a child hides, witnessing the carnage. Discovered, Yang orders Fajar to eliminate the witness. A swift motion, a blade, and silence. Yet, death does not claim the child. Clutched in their hand is a talisman, pulsing with ancient energy, restoring life at a cost. Years pass. The child, now 20, has transformed. Rigorous training, fueled by vengeance, has honed their body and mind. The dojo, once a place of learning, becomes a sanctum of preparation. A board lists 5 names, each a target, each a step towards retribution. The journey begins in the decaying urban sprawl known as the squats, where Fajar, the first on the list, cultivates more than just plants. The journey of retribution begins in the dilapidated district known as the squats. Once a bustling industrial area, it has now succumbed to decay and neglect. Amidst the crumbling buildings and overgrown vegetation, the protagonist seeks the first target: Fajar, the botanist. Fajar, once a fellow student under the same master, has transformed the area into a clandestine drug operation. Utilizing his knowledge of botany, he cultivates a potent hallucinogenic flower, distributing it through the city's underworld. The squats, now teeming with his loyal enforcers, serve as both his sanctuary and laboratory. Navigating through the maze of derelict structures, the protagonist encounters resistance from Fajar's henchmen. Each confrontation serves as a testament to the protagonist's rigorous training and unwavering determination. The environment itself becomes a weapon, with makeshift tools and the surroundings aiding in combat. As the protagonist delves deeper, the surroundings begin to shift. The industrial decay gives way to a surreal, verdant landscape, a manifestation of Fajar's distorted psyche and the influence of the mystical talisman he possesses. This transition signifies the blending of reality and illusion, challenging the protagonist's perception. The final confrontation with Fajar is both physical and psychological. Amidst the lush, otherworldly garden, Fajar employs erratic and unpredictable fighting styles, mirroring his descent into madness. The battle is intense, testing the protagonist's skills and resolve. Upon defeating Fajar, the protagonist is faced with a choice: to end his life or show mercy. This decision marks a pivotal moment, influencing the path ahead. With Fajar defeated, the protagonist's journey continues, now leading to the club, where the next target, Shan, awaits. Each step forward unravels more of the complex web of betrayal and the true nature of the talismans. After defeating Fajar, the protagonist's journey leads to the club, an underground fight arena pulsating with energy and aggression. This venue, hidden beneath the city's surface, is a haven for those seeking the thrill of combat. At its helm is Shan, known as the Fighter, a former fellow student who has channeled his prowess into orchestrating brutal tournaments. The club is a labyrinth of corridors illuminated by neon lights, echoing with the sounds of clashing fists and roaring crowds. As the protagonist navigates through the throngs of spectators and combatants, they face a series of challengers, each more formidable than the last. These encounters serve as both physical trials and reflections of the protagonist's growth and determination. Shan, once a disciplined martial artist, now revels in the chaos of the arena. His philosophy centers on strength through adversity, believing that true power emerges from relentless struggle. This ideology manifests in the grueling gauntlet he presents to the protagonist, testing their limits both physically and mentally. The confrontation with Shan is intense. Wielding a bow staff with precision and ferocity, he embodies the very essence of combat. The battle is a dance of strikes and counters, each move demanding focus and adaptability. As the fight progresses, Shan's attacks become more aggressive, reflecting his unyielding belief in dominance through force. Upon defeating Shan, the protagonist is again faced with a choice: to end his life or show mercy. This decision weighs heavily, as it not only determines Shan's fate but also influences the protagonist's path forward. Choosing mercy allows for introspection, prompting Shan to reflect on his descent into violence and the loss of his original purpose. With Sean's defeat, the protagonist's journey continues, now leading to the museum, where Kuroki, the artist, awaits. Each encounter peels back layers of the past, revealing the complexities of vengeance, morality, and the true meaning of strength. Following the intense battles at the club, the protagonist's path leads to the museum, a towering structure of glass and steel that pierces the city's skyline. This modern edifice, with its minimalist design and curated exhibits, stands in stark contrast to the raw brutality of previous encounters. Within its walls resides Kuroki, the artist, a former disciple turned enigmatic curator. Kuroki's domain is a labyrinth of art installations, each reflecting her descent into a world where illusion and reality intertwine. As the protagonist navigates the museum's halls, they are confronted by guards who move with a grace reminiscent of choreographed dancers, their attacks as precise as they are deadly. The environment itself becomes a canvas of conflict, with sculptures and exhibits serving as both obstacles and weapons. Deeper into the museum, the line between art and reality blurs. The protagonist encounters surreal installations that challenge perception, walls shift, floors vanish, and gravity defies logic. These illusions, manifestations of Kuroki's mastery over her surroundings, test not only physical prowess but also mental fortitude. The final confrontation with Kuroki is a two-phase battle that delves into the depths of illusion. Initially, she attacks with a bladed three-section staff, her movements fluid and unpredictable. As the fight progresses, the environment transforms into a snow-laden landscape, a reflection of Kuroki's inner turmoil. Here, she adopts the guise of a kunai-wielding dark self, embodying the pain and loss that have shaped her. Upon her defeat, the protagonist is once again faced with a choice: to end Kuroki's life or show mercy. Choosing mercy prompts a moment of vulnerability, with Kuroki expressing a semblance of peace amidst her shattered illusions. This act of compassion further cements the protagonist's internal struggle between vengeance and the principles of Wuda. With Kuroki's chapter concluded, the journey advances to the tower, where Jin Feng, the CEO, awaits. Each encounter not only brings the protagonist closer to their ultimate goal but also deeper into the complexities of morality, justice, and the true cost of revenge. Ascending from the surreal illusions of the museum, the protagonist's path leads to the tower, a gleaming skyscraper that epitomizes modernity and corporate dominance. This edifice, with its sleek glass facade and imposing height, stands as a testament to the power and influence wielded by Jin Feng, the CEO. Jin Feng, once a fellow disciple, has transformed her life through the acquisition of the metal talisman. Utilizing its power, she has built a vast corporate empire, masking her nefarious activities behind a veneer of legitimacy. Her company, while publicly lauded for technological advancements, secretly engages in unethical experiments and manipulative practices. The tower's interior reflects Jin Feng's meticulous nature. The lower floors house opulent offices and conference rooms, exuding an air of professionalism. However, as the protagonist ascends, the environment becomes increasingly sterile and mechanical, symbolizing the dehumanization inherent in Jin Feng's pursuit of control. Security within the tower is formidable. The protagonist faces a series of challenges, including advanced surveillance systems and highly trained guards equipped with cutting-edge weaponry. Each encounter tests the protagonist's adaptability, requiring a blend of stealth, strategy, and combat prowess. Reaching the upper echelons, the protagonist confronts Jin Feng in a vast chamber adorned with minimalist decor, emphasizing her preference for order and precision. Wielding a rope dart with lethal accuracy, Jin Feng's combat style is both graceful and ruthless. The battle is a dance of calculated moves, with Jin Feng exploiting every opportunity to dominate. Upon her defeat, the protagonist is once again faced with a choice: to end Jin Feng's life or show mercy. Choosing mercy prompts a moment of introspection, with Jin Feng acknowledging the emptiness of her pursuits and the cost of her ambition. This act of compassion further reinforces the protagonist's internal struggle between vengeance and the principles of Wuda. With Jin Feng's chapter concluded, the journey advances to the sanctuary, where Yang, the architect of the protagonist's suffering, awaits. Each encounter not only brings the protagonist closer to their ultimate goal but also deeper into the complexities of morality, justice, and the true cost of revenge. With the defeat of Jin Feng, the protagonist's path leads to the sanctuary, a secluded retreat nestled amidst serene landscapes. This tranquil setting, with its meticulously maintained gardens and traditional architecture, belies the turmoil within. Here resides Yang, the architect of the protagonist's suffering and the final target on their path of vengeance. Yang, once a fellow disciple and close confidant of the protagonist's father, has transformed the sanctuary into a haven for those seeking healing and enlightenment. However, beneath this facade lies a man consumed by grief and a desire to rectify past wrongs. His actions, though reprehensible, stem from a place of profound loss and desperation. As the protagonist navigates the tranquil grounds, they encounter minimal resistance, a stark contrast to previous confrontations. This absence of hostility allows for introspection, as memories of the past resurface, highlighting the bond once shared between Yang and the protagonist's family. The final confrontation with Yang is both physically and emotionally charged. The battle unfolds in stages, each reflecting the depth of Yang's martial prowess and inner turmoil. Initially, Yang employs techniques reminiscent of their shared training, a poignant reminder of their intertwined histories. As the fight intensifies, Yang's attacks become more aggressive, fueled by a mix of sorrow and conviction. Upon Yang's defeat, the protagonist is presented with a choice: to end his life or show mercy. Choosing mercy leads to a revelation. Yang's actions were driven by a desire to use the talisman to save his dying wife and daughter, a plea denied by the protagonist's father, leading to Yang's expulsion. This act of compassion prompts the talisman to send the protagonist back in time, offering an opportunity to alter their path. With this newfound insight, the protagonist embarks on their journey anew, this time embracing the principles of Wuda, the moral code of martial arts. By sparing each of their adversaries, they break the cycle of vengeance, leading to a final confrontation with Yang that transcends physical combat. In this ultimate test, the protagonist's adherence to Wuda culminates in their own demise, a sacrifice that brings about enlightenment and the restoration of balance. A post-credits scene reveals the protagonist, now a true Sifu, imparting wisdom to a new generation of students at their father's former school, symbolizing the enduring legacy of compassion and discipline.